Welcome to your reading. This is for the week of June 3rd to the 9th. Now, this is an extended reading based on the short little reel I did over on Instagram. So if you found your way here from Instagram, you already know what I'm talking about. And if you're just discovering this on YouTube, don't worry, I do go over those initial messages so that you get the full message for this week, the full forecast. Now, these weekly readings are intended to help you navigate the week ahead with a lot more confidence and clarity on what might be coming your way. Now, this is a general reading though, so if you get the sense in the first, say, 5 minutes that this isn't resonating, it isn't landing, or you simply don't care about this particular theme or topic or message, don't worry, it just means it's for someone else, and come back next week. If it does resonate, however, I really recommend that you lean in, you listen up, and you think about not just, yes, does it resonate with me, but what can I do with this information? Because tarot readings are really great for illumination and helping you understand things at a deeper level. But because I'm a spiritual life coach and I want you to actually improve your life or improve your situations, your circumstances, your mindset, your connection to self, soul, source, the universe, all the things, I really want this to be like an active participation in the creation of a life that you desire. That sounds really big and grand, and it is, but it can also be really simple. So what this looks like is when I give you the messages, if they land, if they resonate, if you're like, yes, this is for me, consider how can I act on this information? What do I need to change? What might this mean for me in the long term or even in the short term? So think about ways to actually embody, to implement, and to take the messages forward. So you're actually like applying them and getting some use out of this reading beyond entertainment. So if you're here just for entertainment, cool. I really encourage you to leave comments below, and if you get your own messages from the cards, share those as well. You never know who's going to discover it, who's going to read it, and who's going to need your insights and your messages from your guides. Okay, so the theme this week is all around your happiness, your fulfillment, and your ability to make the most of this beautiful life that you're in. This requires not just you being happy and carefree and like high vibe positivity sort of stuff, but allowing anything that is holding you back from feeling fully fulfilled or content with your life or your situation, like to address that, to heal that, to deal with that, to leave the past in the past and allow your future to unfold. Now, this week, it's not just all sunflowers, rainbows, and sunshine. We get a little bit of a healthy dose of, life up until this point has been a mixed bag. There's been good, there's been bad. There are, lessons that needed to be learned, but there's also a lot of baggage that has been carried with us or carried with you along the way that, doesn't deserve a place in the life that you are building. Leaving the past behind, though, whatever this may be in relation to, whether it's a relationship or a series of relationships, it might be around your health, your career, your finances, your family, whatever it is about the past that you don't desire to repeat or you want to let go and leave behind. Not only is this the perfect time for you to get, some more clarity on that, but this reading is really encouraging you to take it one step at a time, because we don't build this beautiful, fulfilled 10 out of 10 life overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is your dream life. Now, the other two cards from the initial pull over on Instagram, we had the Seven of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. This is really encouraging that, baby step approach, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, and really having this perspective shift of it takes time. Plant the seeds you desire to see grow, pull out the weeds that don't belong in your garden of life, and also give yourself a little bit of love, compassion, and patience when it comes to the journey that, is unfolding. Just because we know things are better for us. Let's, use habits for an example. You might know what a good habit is and what a bad habit is, but that doesn't mean that just overnight you don't do any of the bad or unhealthy habits anymore. Having conscious awareness is very different to embodied, action and living in alignment with all of these things. So really, I'm getting the sense here this week that whilst your eye might be on the prize of all the goodness and greatness that you desire, your intention and your heart and your mindset really needs to be on these day-to-day, step-by-step actions. So give yourself a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, a little bit of grace and leeway, and allowing yourself to make missteps along the way, as well as, taking the right steps and the good steps. So let's get to the point where we pull some more cards. Now, I have a few decks in front of me. The ones I was just using there was from the Rider-Waite Tarot, but we're going to use the Runic Tarot, which is like a Viking type deck, which I really like, as well as the Find Your Purpose Oracle deck. We're going to start with this deck first, actually, because I want to give you a little bit of, how can you approach this week with a little bit more focus and intention beyond just, baby steps and building habits and giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. Let's get a little bit more of an extended message. And I find this deck in particular is really good for that. Making sure to, let me know what you're thinking about this reading so far. And if you have any questions or your own insights about the cards, pop those in the comments too. So the card that has popped out for us, we've got this stopwatch and these beautiful flowers like sort of cracking it open and blooming from it. Now, just before I even read the back of it, whereas all these words are, we're going to look at this just for the messages and the meaning. To me, this is really just inviting you to break this linear timeline that you've been holding yourself accountable to. If you're the type of person who has told yourself, I should be further ahead, I should have progressed more, achieved more, done more, this is not where I thought I would be or where I want to be, that very narrow, limiting, and probably frustrating timeline you've given yourself where you always feel behind or you always feel off track or you always feel like you're racing to catch up to, some place where you should be, could be, might be, but aren't, this is no longer serving. The flowers, I'm getting the sense here that these are poppies. I'm not sure if they are, but the poppies, the flowers breaking through, cracking this stopwatch is like an invitation for you to take a more natural approach to the way your life is unfolding. We live in seasons, we live in cycles. We grow and bloom and have flowers, and then, we drop the flowers and we drop our leaves and we grow again. And this natural unfolding, this natural timeline, this very seasonal way of being human and being alive is much more compassionate and gentle and loving, and also much more of a natural way to be going through life. Tracking, measuring, cutting our life up into, days and hours and seconds and minutes and months and years, makes sense on a calendar, but it doesn't really make sense on the way that, life progresses. Sometimes we have, months or even years where the trajectory is upwards and it might feel very fast paced and successful. And then we dip down. So yeah, just an invitation here to chuck out any kind of mindset or expectation around this sort of linear timeline. I think I've said that 10 million times, but I was just getting the message so clearly as like, crack that, break that, release that, stop living by that, and instead start to focus on the natural unfolding of your life. This is very much in alignment with the cards that have come out here, especially that Five of Swords, actually. I'm getting called to bring this back. We can often battle, and I see this person in this card battling with this idea of like that battle should have gone differently, or battles in the past, wars in the past, conflicts in the past, they should have had a different outcome, a different result. And very much this is indicating that you might have a propensity to go over all the things that have happened and try and, rewrite the past and rewrite history. And this is not only making you feel more like you're behind where you should be, and you're running out of time and things aren't working out for you. And if only you had X, Y, and Z in the past, things would be different now. But it's just wasting your time, it's wasting your energy, it's wasting your effort, and it's not actually getting you anywhere. But if we can look at the past as simply, information, lessons, things that have occurred, and we can use that to either take different steps or take different actions or learn or grow or evolve and all the things, we can grow stronger next time. Now let's actually look at the messages on the reverse. So there is a quote here to start off with by Adam Grant. I have no idea who that is. If you judge your worth by your achievements, you feel worthless whenever you fall short of a goal. Stable self-confidence comes from learning to separate your performance from your self-esteem. Excellence is a reflection of effort, skill, and luck, not your value as a person. Very much feeding into the messages you're just receiving there about the past is we can be very attached to the things that have gone wrong. When your value, your worthiness, you are enoughness, comes from how you're showing up, not what the outcome was. So continue to show up, continue to be yourself, continue to shine your light, continue to just be this beautiful bloom that you are, and stop holding yourself accountable to, checks and measures that don't really mean anything. This also has a question and an affirmation that may resonate with you, so let me read those. The question is, am I measuring my worthiness by my output? I want you to think about this. I'm going to read it again and then put your answer in the comments. Am I measuring my worthiness by my output? And your affirmation, my work is not my worth. How beautiful. All right. So that is a bit of a focus and a direction this week, allowing yourself to measure your worth, not by the output, not by where you find yourself currently at this time in your life, not by the things you have accomplished and you have achieved. There is so many more things that make life, beautiful and lovely, and things that can bring us contentment when we're not so hung up on, the doing. How are you being? Who are you being? That's so much more worthy of your time and attention. All right, what I'm going to ask next of the Work Your Light Oracle, actually, before we go into the Runic Tarot, is just for some overall messages and signs this week for you to look out for, things for you to look for to guide you this week. All right, so we've got protection, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. This to me is very much just another invitation to let go of the past, let go of the people that don't serve you, let go of the stories that keep you up at night and that hold you back into the past. Cut the cords to any places or people or past events that just make you feel stuck, stagnant, and not at your full power and potential. Protect yourself, sometimes from yourself. I get the message here. Protect yourself from yourself so that you can be your full self. Our other card, we've got the Inner Temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. This is the site and the source of your worthiness. When you're operating from your heart space, when you're connected to your emotions, when you're living in love for yourself and for others, for your past, your present, and your future, you're going to be not only much more powerful, but you're going to find yourself much more able to be grounded into the present and see things for what they are. The opportunities coming your way this week when you're operating from your heart will be easy to navigate, but when you're lost in your past, things get murky, things get a little bit dark. Now we're going to call on the Runic Tarot, this beautiful Viking tarot, and what would we like to clarify? I don't think we need to clarify the fact that the past needs to stay in the past because it's not serving you to be in the present. I don't think we need to clarify about breaking free from this linear timeline and the judgments around that. I think also these cards and these messages around, operating from your heart space and releasing, letting go, allowing the sort of tethers to the past and to the things aren't serving you to be released. This is all clear. So what do we need to hear from the Runic Tarot today? what we're going to ask the Vikings is what challenges may occur. And the reason I'm asking for what challenges may occur is so that you can be prepared for them, but also so that you can have a little bit of a heads up to overcome them. So the first one is the Hierophant. So we've got this sort of leader figure. In the position of like a challenge, what I see here is like challenging the status quo, challenging the way it is, challenging the dominant perception. This, again, very much in support of all this sort of past thinking and linear timeline is who told you that, you know, by the age of whatever, you should have had this many kids and this type of house and this type of career and this type of life? Who said that you should want, you know, the fancy car or the big holidays? Who said you should be, you know, striving to do more or hustle more or build more or have more? Thinking about challenging this week where that information is coming from that might be keeping you stuck in the past or keeping you stuck on that kind of very narrow, restrictive timeline. Another challenge this week is the 10 of Pentacles. There's a lot going on in this card. So let's think about where the challenge might lie. I really see it just supporting this Hierophant card, the 10 of Pentacles, because the 10 of Pentacles is very much about, in this sense, in this card, it's like this sense of achievement, the sense of outcome. So I get, again, it's like not focusing so much on the end goal, not focusing so much on what you get or what you're you know, what you're going to have at the end of the day, especially if it's something that feels quite far away. When we're too attached to, you know, in 5 years' time, I'm going to have this, or all the things I need to get before I can be happy, or where I need to, you know, where I need to get to before I'm allowed to take it easy or have fun or relax or enjoy myself. When we're so focused on the future, just like when we're so focused on the past, we're not focused and we're not grounded in the present. So just making sure that you're not future tripping too much and getting yourself disconnected from the now and what's actually happening in your life. Our final card that comes up in this sort of conflict challenge area is the Five of Cups. Are you a person, you know, the cup is half empty or the cup is half full? This week, keeping sort of an eye out and a heart out for areas in your life, or even just times in the week where you are thinking a bit more of a half empty kind of perspective. This is a perspective. This is something that can change. And whilst sometimes our feelings are so strong and so potent, so powerful that it kind of feels like reality, just a little bit of a reminder here that you get to choose how you perceive a situation and therefore how you feel about a situation. So just a few things to look out for this week. All right. These weekly readings are not meant to go on for hours and hours and hours, so we are going to end it here. Just a bit of an invitation at the end. If this landed, if it resonated, make sure to let me know in the comments below. That really helps me. And if you liked the style of this reading and how I did it, I would also love to hear your feedback so I can make sure these are more powerful, these are more purposeful, and these are actually helping you navigate your weeks ahead. Now, if you would like a private reading or a 30-day forecast or to work with me closer, just make sure to read more in the description below and reach out to me via the channels that I provide. Thank you for joining me for your weekly forecast for June the 3rd, and I will see you next time.